Our next story is somewhat similar to the last one. It's about Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation. It is Nigeria's Independence Day today. 64 years ago, they won their independence from the British. Today was supposed to be a day of celebration. Instead, it was marked by protests and police action. The protests were against bad governance in the country. Similar protests were held in the month of August for 10 days, but they fizzled out. Today, some people wanted to revive the demonstration, so they organized themselves online using the hashtag #FearlessInOctober. But the turnout was low. It seems despite the name, people were still afraid. And it turns out that those fears were justified. Here's our report.
A crowd had gathered in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. They had come out to protest against bad governance in Nigeria. The turnout wasn't big, but even so, the police were quick to take action. Tear gas was lobbed at the demonstrators. Roads were blocked, and the situation was handled. The protesters were not pleased.
Policemen here have started shooting tear gas. It's still early. It's still as early as we just came out here. But it's unfortunate that a nation that is 64 years of independence today is experiencing this level of lawlessness by the law enforcement agents.
Things went a bit better for protesters in Lagos, Nigeria's largest city and financial capital. Hundreds took to the streets of Lagos. They were demonstrating peacefully and singing Nigeria's old national anthem. The country changed the anthem in May, so singing the old one was an act of defiance. It was symbolic, considering that today is Nigeria's Independence Day. 64 years ago, the country overthrew the British. It should have been a day of celebration, but instead, the people of Nigeria were protesting against their government and its economic policies. Nigeria's government knows that the people are unhappy.
I am deeply aware of the struggles many of you face in these challenging times. Our administration knows that many of you struggle with rising costs and the search for meaningful employment. I want to assure you that your voices are heard. As your president, I assure you that we are committed to finding sustainable solutions to alleviate the suffering of our citizens.
This was from President Tinubu's speech today. Instead of celebrating independence, Tinubu was trying to placate the people. It shows just how bad the situation is. Tinubu became Nigeria's president last year, and he introduced a slew of economic reforms. He removed a fuel subsidy, increased electricity prices, and devalued Nigeria's currency, the naira. It led to the worst inflation in 28 years. This sparked public anger, and protests erupted in August. But the Nigerian government crushed those demonstrations. At least 21 people died, and 10 were charged with treason. So the protests fizzled out. They were supposed to restart today. Organizers were trying to rally people online, using hashtags like #FearlessInOctober or #FearlessOctober1st. But it seems that this did not work, because the Nigerian state was prepared to induce fear. There are reports that some protest organizers were abducted and taken to Nigeria's capital. The military was deployed to assist the police in handling the protesters. The environment was meant to stifle dissent, and it seems to have worked. Protest organizers want the demonstrations to continue, but it won't be easy to draw sizable crowds. So if the people of Nigeria want the government to change, the ballot box seems to be their best option.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election, explains how America chooses its president, your primer on the race to the White House, everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained. Every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.